Hi, I'm Wes Allen with DM Tales, and today I'm doing something a bit different. I'm explaining why I do this channel at all. Let's roll it. Before we begin, I want to shout out everyone who has liked, commented, and subscribed to DM Tales. It helps a lot. And if you consider doing those things for this video, I would be most grateful, really. And a special shout out to my coffee contributors who help keep this channel going out of the kindness of their hearts. If you'd like to join the channel, the link is right over there. Also, if you're looking for some cool stuff to wear, check out my merch store for t-shirts and hoodies, including this one that asks the age-old question, are we the bad guys? Now, with all that out of the way, let's get to the point. For folks who don't know, I'm an introvert, a strong introvert. Crowds of people can be overwhelming in a breath. Small talk, it terrifies me, and new social situations, they just fill me with dread. It takes a lot to get me to do something new. Over the years, I've learned to mitigate many of the struggles our loud and exhibitionist culture triggers in me, so much so that I can almost pass through life with no one noticing that I am looking for the nearest exit door to solitude. What I haven't mitigated are, for me, the core benefits of being an introvert. Because I'm re-energized when I'm in solitude, I tend to spend a good amount of time reflecting on myself and the world. I try to read anything I can get my hands on. I am fascinated by information. I'm nourished by learning. It's important to my mental, social, and spiritual health. But there's also another aspect of my personality which is every bit as important to my core sense of self. I want to be useful. Now hear that right. I don't want to be important. I don't even want to be needed because that makes me feel like my energy reserves are constantly being siphoned off from my soul. I just want to be useful. I want to help people learn and grow. If you know those two things about me, you have learned a lot. So here's the question. Why does an introvert who is terrified of crowds and new situations run a YouTube channel about games which are, at their core, social situations and often new? Well, remember who I am. In any community in which I am a part, one of my core motivations is to be useful. When I read a game I find interesting, I want to present it to folks in a way that can help them appreciate it. When I learn a trick for being a GM, play with a new piece of software that I use, or make something I think may help folks, I want to share it. When I encounter some of the folks who make our hobby, whom I have grown to appreciate, I want to bring them on my channel to have a chat, because I want other people to meet them and appreciate them as well. When I see something going on that is doing active harm to people, I point it out because I don't want people to do active harm to each other. When I do those things, well, I'm content. Mostly. I do things to be useful. It doesn't mean I don't enjoy moments where I can see that I've been useful. And that brings me to what triggered this post, watching clips from Mr. Holland's Opus. And yeah, that movie is candy sweet cliche, but it's got some beats which I am not ashamed bring me to tears every time I see them. At the end of the film, Mr. Holland, after an unsuccessful attempt to save his school's music program, is in the band room on the last day of school. He talks with his friend about the irony of his life. He got dragged into teaching, kicking and screaming, but then at the end of his career, he didn't want to do anything else. And it was with some bitterness that he expresses how over the years he thought he had made a difference, that what he did in the school mattered. But at the end of his career, he realizes he didn't matter. He was expendable. And then as he's being escorted out of the school by his wife and his son, Mr. Holland hears a commotion in the school's auditorium and proceeds to check it out. When he opens the door, he finds the seats filled with students past and present and colleagues who Mr. Holland wasn't even aware valued what he did, including the school principal, who is a foil over his career. That moment breaks him, and it breaks me, because it showed him that he did matter and that his life was not wasted. I cry every time I see it because it reminds me of hope. So why do I keep doing this? Why do I have this channel at all? It's not because I want to know I matter. It's because I want to know that this channel matters. It's not huge. Its reach is limited, and calling it uncool would be generous at best. I am not cool and never have been. But it matters. It matters to folks who find one of these videos in their feed and discover that it gives them permission to try something new, something I have difficulty with. It matters to anyone who watches and rediscovers their love of being part of a story. It matters to folks who may find in the comments post in the Discord that I run and in the content that they are watching that they're not alone. It matters to the creators whose games I review. Now please hear me. DM Tales is not important, nor is it irreplaceable. If this channel went away, there would be dozens of outlets that folks can watch which do the exact same thing that this channel does. But it still matters, because in a small way it helps reconnect folks to learning, to growth, story, and the joy of friendship. And while, like Mr. Holland at the end of the movie, there are times I do need to be reminded that that does indeed matter, most times it's enough to keep me going. That's why I do this. And thank you so much for being part of the ride. Coming up on the channel, I have got a couple other articles that I am writing that I do want to bring to the channel eventually. I've been working on them for a while. I have got my second Tales of Argosa video to do that goes over some of the cool tools that are there for GMs. Cannot wait to finalize that and record it for all of you. I have got all these cool games on the channel like Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland, Never Going Home, Zombie Brain Eaters, that is Edge of the Sun for Numenera, which is not my unnamed Numenera book, which is still waiting in the queue to be written. Can't wait for that. And I am reading Dreams and Machines at present. So many cool things. I cannot wait to bring all of this to you. This is my great joy. I call this my midlife crisis, and in some ways it is, because when we hit midlife, we want to know what we do matters. But it's an absolute blast to be part of this community and to help people out just a little bit to enjoy it even more. So until we see each other again, folks, happy playing, everyone.